Technology has the power to change the world, but it's not always for the better. Let's dive right into the top 10 horrifying technologies that will change the world for the worse. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have drones. Drones aren't a new piece of technology, but they are most definitely becoming more widespread. In fact, there have been surveys conducted that suggest that drones are actually the piece of technology that is up and coming that the general public fears the most. Part of this, or really a lot of this, is due to the fact that since this technology evolved so quickly, the laws and regulations surrounding them haven't exactly had the time to catch up. Drones can be super useful and are a brilliant piece of technology when used responsibly, but considering how the Federal Aviation Administration regulations don't really directly address residential areas, this creates a problem for those who don't know about the drone or about the user's intention. Sometimes when someone just wants to fly their drone and enjoys this piece of technology, it can make others feel like they're being spied on. In our number 9 spot today, we have pathogens. I am talking specifically about those that are weaponized. Back in 2005, Ray Kurzweil and Bill Joy noted that publishing the genomes of deadly viruses where the entire world could see would be the perfect setup for destruction, and it's possible that they might have been right. Like with anything, there is always the possibility that some person or group will take this knowledge and use it to their advantage to do something horrible, and the same goes for these viral recipes. There is also the possibility of accidental leaks while people are researching. One positive thing of these genomes explanations is that people can study these viruses, they can get to know them, and hopefully also learn their countermeasures, but in doing so, this sometimes creates an even more deadly version, and this could wreak an unbelievable amount of havoc on the world. Whether accidental or purposefully being weaponized, these viruses could change the world as we know it. In our number 8 spot today, we have self-driving cars. The issue isn't with the self-drive per se. I mean, there are plenty of reasons why this step makes sense, why it could be exponentially helpful, and why there are people who are clearly on board with the idea, but there are also some things that are rightfully a major cause for concern. One of the most debated and truly one of the biggest questions surrounding this is an ethical one, like, will a self-driving car prioritize its driver or passenger or operator, whatever you want to call them, over other road users, and not just over other road users, but at the expense of other road users. Also, what happens when the car is left with a decision to either collide with one person or another? A car couldn't take into account any other sort of extenuating circumstances like a human would. In our number 7 spot today, we have autonomous AI. Okay, so there's a Harvard professor named Nick Bostrom, and he devised this thought experiment that really does show us the dangers of this sort of superintelligence. So basically, he made this hypothetical scenario where a paperclip company, you know, all the huge corporations that are dedicated to just making paperclips, if they made some sort of AI robot thing that is tasked with the one single goal of creating as many paperclips for the company. In theory, this is amazing. There's so many paperclips, we don't know what to do with them. Paperclip stocks are higher than they've ever been, and this robot has put that little guy on the computer screen straight out of business. But now, something has happened. This robot, which only knows paperclips and only knows it's supposed to create as many as possible, obviously takes this job very seriously, and it's a robot, so it doesn't know about everything else in the world. So this robot, in order to complete its mission, starts to take other resources, such as those we need to survive, in order to create these paperclips because it doesn't know anything else. In doing this and fulfilling its paperclip destiny, it wipes out humanity in the process. Of course, this is an extreme hypothetical, but it's definitely something to think about. This is just one hypothetical scenario out of many that could potentially arise. In our number 6 spot today, we have automation. Okay, it's no secret that robots have been putting people out of work. I mean, it's something we've seen for years, and as technology advances, there are jobs that were once done by humans that are now being done by Siri. Bad example, but you get what I mean. It is said that this trend, however, of robots doing human jobs is only on the rise. As an example, something we just talked about, self-driving cars, it is said that this new piece of technology will soon put 5 million Americans out of jobs. That's a lot. I mean, if taxi companies or Uber can somehow find a way to remove the middleman, you know they would in order to rake in more cash for themselves. This issue isn't just with this, however. It is said that by 2030, nearly 70 million people could lose their jobs due to automation. Is it efficient? Yes. Is it potentially very harmful? Also yes. In our number 5 spot today we have virtual reality. Okay, another piece of technology that isn't new, but it is definitely more widespread now, and that is virtual reality. It's a super fun piece of technology, or it can be absolutely terrifying, and people are legitimately worried about it. People have raised concerns over how this sort of technology might affect our brains, more specifically our memories. There are worries that younger people using these sorts of technologies might end up creating these sort of false memories under the influence of virtual reality. This, however, is something that does need a lot more study to confirm if these sort of effects really do exist and if they are happening, and if so, whether they outweigh the benefits. In our number 4 spot today we have artificial superintelligence. We talked about autonomous AI, but this is something pretty different. Stephen Hawking once said that artificial superintelligence could be our worst mistake in history. As humans, we have been able to dominate this world because of our intelligence, so introducing something that is far smarter and a lot faster than us would mean that we are no longer at the top. We'd kind of just be at the mercy of whatever this superintelligence wanted to do, and as of right now, it's not clear that we could create a friendly enough version to safely be able to do this. Unless we are able to be sure that this wouldn't happen, it remains an idea that has a lot of people pretty freaked out. In our number 3 spot today we have nanotechnology. I'll be honest with you guys, this is a technology that I have an extremely basic understanding of because it is a technology for people who are way smarter than me. Technology buffs have been clear, however, that weaponized or just absolutely botched molecular assembling nanotechnology is one of the biggest threats to face when it comes to technological advancements. The threat comes from two places. One is unchecked self-replication and the other is exponential growth. If someone decided to use this kind of technology to do evil, or if it even simply fell into the wrong hands, this kind of nanotechnology could lead to the creation of microscopic machines that consume all of our critical resources at an insanely quick pace while also replicating itself at the same time. It's a bit of a complicated idea, but with how fast technology changes and advances, there are some people who are worried about this kind of technology entering the world. In our number 2 spot today we have data trafficking. This point is mostly about how our technology in some areas has outpaced the regulations behind it. Similar to the discussion about drones, data trafficking is another one of those things that people have just used to their advantage, not worrying about the detriment it might bring to others. What I mean when I say data trafficking is the sharing of other people's data without their control or their awareness. Throughout the history of the internet, there's been a countless amount of rules and regulations that have been introduced because, of course, when the internet was born, no one was prepared for exactly what was to come. This became abundantly clear with the creation of social media as well. Many people claim that data trafficking is something that not only undermines people's personal liberty, but maybe even democracy itself. In our number 1 spot today we have cryptocurrency. Okay, this is one thing that I'll admit, it has the power and potential to be great, but it could also be pretty detrimental to our world as well. Before you crypto fanatics totally freak out, hear me out. Right now, cryptocurrency is largely inaccessible. This means that it's mostly being used to make rich people richer, while other people end up poorer. That could change, but that's just where things are right now. The positive side with crypto, however, is the underlying technology that allows it, blockchain. This technology is one that could be and really is quite transformative. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!